Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and nation celebrating 75 years of independence, and also UN Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaign in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute and Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. So before we start our session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue to today's session. Today, we are commemorating World Drowning Prevention Day. It is one of the United Nations International Day passed by the resolution. Today's theme, this year's theme for World Drowning Prevention Day, that is being celebrated every year on 25th July, is do one thing to prevent drowning. So, worldwide campaign is happening by organizing various events at international level, national, regional, and local area level, and a lot of events are being campaigns are being running with the hashtag drowning prevention and drowning prevention day. So let's quickly look into what is drowning actually and what are the ways we can prevent drowning and what are the amount of casualties that occur due to drowning. So before we get into details, let me show you one short video that will give us the glance about that, then we will go into detail. Just a minute. This is the report by World Health Organization in 2014. The statistics change. The deaths have been increased. We will also look into those.
Water. It's life-enabling. It's life-enhancing. And it can be life-threatening with very real consequences. In fact, drowning is a leading killer, particularly of children and young people, in every region of the world. Every hour of every day, 42 people lose their lives to drowning. That's an estimated 372,000 people a year worldwide. The vast majority of drowning occurs in low and middle-income countries, where daily contact with water for work, transportation and agriculture increases drowning risk. Drowning impacts the most vulnerable, children, the poor and the elderly. In many high-income nations, backyard pool drowning deaths have claimed a significant number of young lives. The impact on families affected is immeasurable.
He was floating just a few centimetres under the water, and it was the most, no one should see this sight. It was just horrible.
Samuel is now 4 years old. He cannot speak, he cannot walk, and he is fed through a tube in his stomach.
You have children, you have this imagined life for them, that they'll grow up and have a family, good education, that sort of stuff. Now you live with a constant 24-hour a day, 7-day a week care role for Samuel.
In Bangladesh, water is everywhere and poses a significant threat to children. Drowning has a lasting impact on families and communities.
सातदमर बेला दोमो शेष पानी आमी टु खासी पर उठे सुनो से आलू टे पर अल्प पानी यही पानी में दे उठे सुनो से साले पालता माता ते बाद बजा तुल्ला पर ने afla अपने या उरेलो
Drowning tragedies play out around the world on a daily basis. When drowning occurs in events such as ferry capsizes or flood disasters, entire communities are devastated. In November 2013, Typhoon Haiyan wreaked havoc in the Philippines, killing over 6,000 people and leaving another 1,000 missing. Floods associated with monsoons and intense tropical storms can and have claimed hundreds or thousands of lives in a single event. 75% of deaths in flood disasters are due to drowning, and disasters of this kind are projected to increase. The World Health Organization's Global Report on Drowning calls for a strategic, global effort to prevent this leading killer. The Global Report on Drowning sets out evidence which shows a range of interventions are effective in preventing drowning. These include install barriers controlling access to water, provide safe places away from water for preschool children, teach school-aged children basic swimming, water safety and rescue skills, train bystanders in safe rescue and resuscitation, set and enforce safe boating, shipping and ferry regulations, build resilience and manage flood risks locally and nationally, develop national water safety plans. The Global Report on Drowning. It's time to act on a preventable killer.
Now that we got an idea about what drowning is and what kind of causality it creates and the misery that it creates across the world, we have seen so many people losing their lives. So the very first precaution we can do is teach everyone swimming. Let's all learn swimming, because now disasters has become a norm. We can see a lot of disasters happening across the world, and the floods are easy way. Now we can see even cities are being flooded, though the water amount level is below the drowning hill, but still, as the water levels and the flood levels are increasing year by year, so that puts us into more risk. So the easy thing we can do is, uh, as already discussed in the video, apart from that, what we can do is we all can learn swimming. There are a lot of benefits with the swimming. With swimming is the best exercise, and it is one of such exercise where every body or every part of the body, every muscle, every nerve of the body is put into action. So it also helps us to strengthen, cleanse the body, and also it is a very good exercise. It relieves us from lot of ailments. So we all need to learn swimming. That will benefit us in various ways. So let's briefly look into the history. As we have seen, drowning is a leading cause of accidental death. Every year, an estimated 236,000 people drown, and making drowning a major public problem worldwide. Drowning is one of the leading causes of death globally for children and young people aged 1 to 24 years. Drowning is the third leading cause of unintentional injury death, accounting for 7% of all injury-related deaths, which can be preventable. The global burden of death from drowning is felt in all economies and regions. However, low and middle income countries account for over 90% of unintentional drowning deaths. Over half of the world drowning occurs in the World Health Organization's Western Pacific region and World Health Organization's Southeast Asia region. Drowning death rates are highest in the WHO Western Pacific region and are 27 to 32% times higher than those in the United Kingdom or Germany, respectively. As we have seen in the video, the global report on drowning, preventing a leading killer, was published by World Health Organization in 2014 and is the first WHO report dedicated exclusively to drowning, a highly preventable public health challenge that has never been targeted by a global strategic prevention effort. This aims to change that. So you can visit the WHO website and or United Nations website for the drowning report, or you can contact me. I can also share you the direct link. Now, looking after this short video, we came to know that drowning is the third leading cause of unintentional injury death worldwide. See, it is the third leading cause which can be purely or completely prevented. And it is accounting for 7% of all injury related deaths. And as we have seen the statistics also, 236,000 annual drowning deaths worldwide. And this is only official which have been recorded, and unrecorded deaths are always a multiplier. And global estimates may significantly underestimate the actual public health problem related to drowning. Children, males, and individuals with increased access to water are most at risk of drowning. You can see water is everywhere. Though drinking water is not there everywhere, but water is there. So we need to be very cautious when we are dealing with water and when we are closer or proximity to the water bodies, or when we are easily accessible to the water bodies, and when we are commuting through water bodies, we have to be very careful. And especially this is rainy season, and we see lot of floods, heavy rains, so we have to be more careful. So the very first precautionary thing is we need to learn life saving skills and also learn swimming. And apart from that, we have precautionary measures. We have already seen in video, like we'll discuss again, and how it came into existence. The World Drowning Prevention Day was declared in April 2021, that is last year, by General Assembly Resolution 75 by 273 and is held annually on 25th July. This global advocacy event serves as an opportunity to highlight the tragic and profound impact of drowning on families and communities and to offer life-saving solutions to prevent it. All stakeholders, governments, UN agencies, civil society organizations, the private sector, academia, and individuals are invited to mark World Drowning Prevention Day by highlighting the need for urgent, coordinated, and multi-sectorial action on proven measures such as installing barriers, controlling access to water, providing safe places away from water such as creches for preschool children with capable childcare, teaching swimming, water safety, and safe rescue skills, training bystanders in safe rescue and rescutation, setting and enforcing safe boating, shipping, and ferry regulations, improving flood risk management. So, the new United Nations General Assembly resolution invited World Health Organization to coordinate actions on drowning prevention with the UN system. In this capacity, World Health Organization leads preparations for the World Drowning Prevention Day by producing related advocacy materials, hosting a global launch event, and supporting local activities in countries and communities around the world. With this call of United Nations and World Health Organizations and various international organizations, we are also, as a responsible citizen of the world, we are also taking and conducting awareness on these various issues that are concerning our humanity and also planet across the globe. Now, a new logo was also launched for World Drowning Day. World Drowning Prevention Day, 25th July. Anyone can drown and no one should by taking these precautions. As we have seen the history, now what we can do and what World Health Organization is doing on drowning prevention. World Health Organization released major publications on the topic Global Report on Drowning, as we discussed in November 2014, and Preventing Drowning, an Implementation Guide in May 2017. At the country level, WHO has worked with the Ministries of Health in some low and middle income countries to prevent drowning, the use of barriers, controlling access to water, and establishment of daycare centers for preschool children. In addition, World Health Organization has also funded research in low-income countries exploring priority questions related to the drowning prevention. At the regional level, WHO organizes training programs and convenes workshops to draw together representatives of governments, NGOs, UN agencies working on drowning prevention. Now, as discussed, this drowning prevention guide provides practical steps to reduce drowning, one of the world's most preventable and neglected and pressing public health issues. Through 10 evidence-based interventions and strategies, is designed to help drowning prevention practitioners from non-governmental organizations, that is NGOs, and researchers to government officials and policymakers approach drowning prevention in a strategic, evidence-based, and multi-sectoral way. It also highlights ways to harness public awareness and engagement to strengthening drowning prevention interventions. Now, if you look at the report, so as we already discussed this year, World Health Organization invite us all to do one thing to save lives on World Drowning Prevention Day. And for social media, World Health Organization recommends that we all use hashtag drowning prevention to be used, including for the World Drowning Prevention Day hashtag. Both the hashtags can be used to promote and advocate for the cause. What, as an individuals, what we can do? We can share drowning prevention and water safety advice with our families, friends, and colleagues, and sign up for swimming or water safety lessons, or support local drowning prevention charities and groups. And as a group, what we can do? We can host public events, seminars, webinars, and various other online and offline activities to share water safety information, launch water safety campaigns, or commit to develop or deliver new drowning prevention programs using recommended best practice interventions. As a government, what we can do? We can develop or announce new drowning prevention policies, strategies, legislation, and also investment, convene multi-sectorial roundtables or parliamentary discussions on drowning burden and solutions, and also introduce or commit to supporting drowning prevention programming domestically or internationally. Now, as we already discussed, a practical guide preventing drowning for the provision of daycare centers and basic swimming and water safety skills and safe rescue and rescutation was provided free on the website, and it can be downloaded by anyone, whoever requires it. Now let's briefly look into what are different interventions for this water drowning prevention. Teach school-age children with basic swimming and water safety skills. Not only school-age children, because they are more vulnerable, but also everyone should learn swimming, basic swimming skills and water safety skills that will prevent us from drowning away in case of water-related casualties or emergencies. Teaching basic swimming and water safety skills to school-age children aged 6 years and older reduces drowning risk. Basic swimming and water safety skills programs should focus on acquiring basic water survival skills such as breathing, floating, and moving forward, and developing skillful swimming strokes. A key part of setting up a basic swimming and water safety skills program is deciding whom to target, as WHO recommends targeting school-age children aged 6 years and older. This is based on the analysis of the programs such as Swim Safe in Bangladesh, Thailand, Vietnam, and which shows that children under the age of 6 years cannot achieve the required skill level with the curriculum time frame, and that successful completion of the program does not exceed 80% until age 8 years of age. Rural children are particularly important target subgroup as they are most exposed to the water and therefore have the high risk of drowning. And it also depends on various factors like who are vulnerable and who are prone to water flooding. So as part of this, using a structured curriculum, prioritizing rural children and other at risk subgroups, and importance of local factors prevailing there. So screening potential child participants targeted for basic swimming and water safety skills, for medical conditions or disability, and any necessary accommodations where possible should be done by medically trained staff. Parents and guardians should be included in the process. So screening should be done for each student compared to other children. Does the child has any serious delay in sitting, standing, or walking? These are the few assessments where a disability can be assessed using 10-point disability screening tool. These 10 points are compared to other children. Does the child have any serious delay in sitting, standing, or walking? Compared to other children, does the child have difficulty seeing either in day or at night? Does the child appear to have difficulty in hearing? When you tell the child to do something, does he or she struggle to understand what you are saying? Does the child have any difficulty in walking or moving his or her arms, or does he has or she has weakness and or stillness or stiffness in the arms or legs? Does this child sometimes have seizures, become rigid, or lose consciousness? Does the child struggle to learn to do things like other children in his or her age? Does the child struggle to speak? Can he or she make herself understood in words? Can he or she say any recognizable words? For 3 to 9-year-olds, ask, is the children's speech in any way different from normal? Not clear enough to be understood by the people other than his or her immediate family? For 2-year-olds, ask, can he or she name at least one object, example, an animal, a toy, a cup, or a spoon? And is the child slower in any way than any other children of his or her age? In addition of these questions, screening questions could also ask if the child has difficulty in breathing, and children with conditions or disabilities identified on the basis of screening should be managed as high-risk training participants, and appropriate steps need to be taken to ensure their safety during training, including adjusted instructor ratios, and also using additional accommodations such as helpers, and in some cases not providing them training or providing them with classroom water safety training only in case of any disabilities. And also including parents and guardians in the screening process, as parents know much better and they will be able to give much more information, insights into the child, and equipping other medical and non-medical staff to undertake screening wherever possible with mobile teams. And various other instructions have been provided in detail. And what are the various skills that need to be taught? Using a structured curriculum to teach basic swimming and water safety skills adapted to the local population and content, and covering curriculum covering basic swim skills, water safety, and basic rescue. Curriculum must be safety tested and should be enable at a minimum children's ability to swim 25 meters and either 3 to treat water or otherwise maintain their airway above water using a suitable floating technique for a minimum of 30 seconds. So using a structured curriculum like roll into water in which the participant is unable to stand or surface with the head above water where appropriate and safety, it is safe to teach. Any action to keep the head above water for a period of time, including treading water or using a suitable floating technique or for a minimum of 30 seconds. Swimming in a controlled direction in any manner for a minimum of 20 meters, and self-rescue skills and CPR are included in some programs as well. So breathing skills like put face in water, submerge and blow bubbles, hold breath and exhale in submerged position. And also 10 swimming skills like walk in water, walk with arm pulling, float in the water with support, float in water without support, kick by holding support, push and guide without support, push and glide with kick, kick and pull with instructor or kickboard support, kick, arm pull and breathing, push, glide, kick and arm pull. These are the 10 swimming skills that are also part of teaching curriculum. And 2 survival competencies like swimming 25 meters using any recognizable stroke, float for a minimum of 30 seconds. And 3 elementary rescue techniques. And these are all non-contact techniques designed to keep the rescuer out of water and therefore significantly reduces risk. So be rescued with a pole, rescue others using a pole and rope from the edge of the pond, rescue others by throwing floating objects. So curriculum should reflect each country's water environment and water use. Different nations have different water environments, from seas, oceans, and large, deep inland lakes to narrow, shallow rivers and creeks. Collectively, these influence the circumstances and risk factors for drowning in each setting, and the curriculum used for basic swimming and water safety skills should reflect that. Water conditions also vary, including temperature, currents, and waves. Countries in which large, deep lakes and oceans pose in higher drowning risk might consider adopting more challenging environments, that is, longer times to keep the head above water, minimum of 60 seconds, and a longer swim test, a minimum of 50 meters compared to a normal of 25 meters. And nations in which narrow, shallow rivers and creeks with warmer water pose in higher risk of find shorter wave treading test like minimum of 30 seconds and swim test of 25 meters as appropriate. And things to consider when evaluating the skills of these who are taking part include: do participants have the appropriate skills to advance to the next level of training? Do participants understand the activity to be performed? Is the activity appropriate for the physical ability of the participants? Is the activity flexible to accommodate differences in levels of experience and skill? Does the activity allow direct visual observation of each participant at all times? So participants with disabilities should be properly assessed, and accordingly instructions should be given and training should be given. Robust incident reporting mechanisms are an important part of overall risk management and are the bedrock of continuous quality improvement. So outlining the safety rules before beginning any activity, keeping participants in front of them and supervising them at all times, performing regular head counts to avoid scenarios where children could go missing, ensuring swimmers enter shallow water feet first every time, keeping a buoyancy and available at all the times, using a signal system, example whistle, that all children understand. 1 blast, attention look at me. 2 blasts, everyone leave the water immediately. Like that, we need to have a code, something like that, signal system. And when practicing skills, participants must swim into shallow water and not swim into deeper water. For example, when teaching on a beach, practice should be done parallel to the shore or towards the beach, not into the deeper water. And qualifications and basic demographic information for all instructors. Basic demographic information of the participants, including age, sex, name of the child, name of the parents, and address, and results of water testing if required and performed, dates of enrollment, graduation for each participant, final skill level obtained for each participant, that is pass, fail, or dropout, any adverse events including injury noted during training, any circumstances leading to activation of the emergency action plan should be noted and maintained. And the training site should be above ground. Transportable pools are filled with clean water as a controllable depth. Ponds and reservoirs have fenced subsurface platforms to provide safe, uniform depths. And unbounded water bodies such as lakes have subsurface platforms as well as physical boundaries to ensure safe instructor-participant separation is not exceeded and are of suitable water temperature for basic swimming and water safety skills training. Beaches have highly visible floating boundaries. Strong currents and other hazards are not present. And there is also attention to tidal conditions to ensure safe depth is not exceeded. There is known risk of microbial threats such as Giardia, Cryptopodium, E. coli, and blue algae. Boundaries are undamaged, natural water bodies. This may include scanning the area for hazards underfoot, checking currents, etc., or water testing, temperature checks, etc. And deploying a safeguarding policy, which should include the process for reporting safeguarding concerns for participants, instructors, staff, and community members, and the process of investigating safeguarding concerns and a safeguarding lead responsible for ensuring this process is managed appropriately, the process for engaging with media, including ensuring informed consent from children and parents, and training requirements for the instructors and other volunteers, especially those recruiting who may be in schools. So ongoing monitoring of instructors, not qualifying instructors if there are any concerns. Safeguarding is at the heart of all practices. Now, providing daycare for preschool children, community-based supervised childcare for preschool children can reduce drowning risk through assuring constant adult supervision while also providing other health and educational benefits. Most daycare provision, particularly in high-income countries, is characterized by a safe and nurturing environment, trained caregivers, safe child-to-caregiver ratios, and robust supervision. Where possible, hours of operation should mirror the times at which parents and guardians are busiest and therefore less able to effectively supervise PH school children. So daycare should have written procedures that explicitly state the age range of children to be taken care for and required parents' informed consent. Child to caregiver ratio should not exceed one caregiver for maximum 13 children aged 1 to 4 years of age and one caregiver for every 3 children aged under 12 months. So childcare needs vary greatly with age, so it is important that daycare programs clearly set out the age range of the children for which they will care. Child to caregiver ratios are also a critical component of such programs as a safe adult supervision necessary to prevent drowning and otherwise assure child safety cannot be guaranteed beyond a certain number of children. So maintaining a reasonable child to caregiver ratio always protects caregivers themselves, exposing them to fewer potential cases of infectious diseases among children in their care. And daycare venue should be no more than a 20-minute walk from the child's home along a road that is safe for children and their parents or guardians. So daycare venues should provide a minimum of 1.2 square meters of space per participant, caregivers and children, be safely constructed for local conditions with closing doors, operable only by adults, having a means to regulate temperature and allow for unobstructed supervision of children, including during toilet and hand washing breaks. They must be equipped with the basic materials to safely clean up and disinfect any body fluids that may put children or staff at risk of infection, such as vomiting or diarrhea. So minimum space per participant, that is 1.2 square meters, and safe construction using local materials and basic cleanup materials and procedures. And daycare should also offer a structured program of physical and mental activities for children that are age appropriate and draw from their best practice, particularly with regard to early childhood development. So here, based on each child as an individual, how children develop and learn, and the social and cultural context in which children live, daycare programs have to be formulated. And the early years foundation state, in short known as EYFS, is a widely accepted framework setting out the expected focus and outcomes of early years education and childcare provision, and spans preschool settings and universal provision at primary school in reception year. So the EYFS mainly focuses and uses games and play to teach children like communication and language, physical development, personal, social and emotional development, literacy, mathematics, understanding the world, and expressive arts and design. The daycare provider should have a written document that clearly sets out the hours and days of the week during which daycare is available. This information should be complemented by procedures for dropping children off and picking them off from the daycare, and these aspects should be communicated clearly through engagement with local parents and stakeholders. So daycares of the week and hours of operation, holidays, severe weather and emergency closure, engaging with parents, drop off and pick up policy, like other policies like open door policy, fees and payment arrangements, forms required for enrollment, alternative care and substitute caregivers, food and nutrition. And if meals and snacks are provided, these should follow any national dietary guidelines that may be in place, and consideration should be given to specifying types of food that cannot be brought into the daycare. For example, many programs are nut-free. And allergies, immunization and medication. Daycare policies around all these issues should be considered. Clear mechanisms should exist for parents informing daycare staff about allergies, immunization status and medication needs, as well as the resulting responsibilities of the daycare program to ensure that these needs are catered for. And caregivers and assistants should ideally be female and be selected by local committee comprising local authorities and residents. Caregivers should have as high a level of education as possible and receive initial and ongoing training covering child development, behavior management, appropriate gameplay and structured learning activities, first aid, managing child safety risks, including drowning, recognition and management of common childhood illnesses, and conveying health promotional messages. So involving a local committee and as high a level of education possible for caregivers, and training in first aid, training in appropriate gameplay and structured learning activities for children, managing risk for childhood drowning, recognition and management of common childhood illness, and conveying health promotion messages are part of it. And daycare center operation should be subject to no less than 6 unannounced inspections per year by a suitably trained regional daycare center supervisor. Inspection should involve a written checklist to ascertain if procedures are being followed correctly, as well as the interviews with children, caregivers, parents, and local authorities. And the written documents checklist should be verified during inspection visits. And documents like daily attendance register, behavior logs, incident report logs, emergency preparedness plans should be verified and checked. And child to caregiver ratios need to be verified, and general physical state of the daycare, and in particularly any safety risks has to be assessed, and interviews with children, caregivers, parents, and local authorities are part of this. Inspections. So written guidelines must be established and clearly state the responsibilities of caregivers, assistants, supervisors to protect children from abuse of neglect and report any suspicious of relevant authorities. Daycare supervisor should be in particular to be trained to recognize signs and symptoms of children that have been abused and are neglected. So recognition of signs and symptoms of abuse and neglect, physical or bruises in unusual places or unexplained bruises, fractures not resulting from normal play accidents, burns including an unusual pattern of burns, cuts, welts, or other marks in the shape of an object like a belt or cord, a child's explanation of what happened not matching the type of injury, repetitive injuries, pale or bluish skin, seizures, temporary muscle stiffness, loss of consciousness. These may lead to child to watch out for danger, not make friends, vomit, have seizures, act aggressively, be depressed. And emotionally, poor appetite, bedwetting or toilet accidents, failure to thrive. These may lead to the child to be depressed, have low self-esteem, be emotionally unstable, have poor social skills, have problems with peers, and become withdrawn. And related to sexual, child has difficulty walking or sitting, stained or bloody underclothing, injuries to genitals. This may lead to child to have low self-esteem, be depressed, be withdrawn, act out sexual or seductive behavior, masturbate excessively, and run away. And under neglect, we have underweight, failure to thrive, developmental delays, speech problems, not dressed appropriately for the weather. This may lead child to appear tired or hungry, have low self-esteem by overly passive, becoming easily frustrated or angry, be dependent on the caregiver, be inattentive, be impulsive or aggressive, having poor peer relationships. So caregivers must also look out for inappropriate behavior displayed by other members of the staff or any other person working with the children. For example, inappropriate sexual comments, excessive one-to-one attention beyond the requirements of their usual role and responsibilities, or inappropriate sharing of images. Children with disabilities are at particular risk of violence for a number of reasons, including cultural prejudices and the increased demands that disability may place on their families. Children with disabilities are often perceived to be easy targets. Powerlessness and social isolation may make it difficult for them to defend themselves and report abuse. Day caregivers must be having written plans and procedures for controlling communicable diseases risk to the children and staff. We should stipulate that children with communicable diseases are not brought to the daycare but are cared at home. Caregivers and assistants should be trained in cleaning up and disinfecting any infectious body fluids that may pose risk to the children or staff, such as vomit or diarrhea. And daycare staff and regional level supervisory staff must engage with local authorities and stakeholders such as parents on a regular basis, including during their regular supervisory visits. And prior to daycare being established, in order to clearly explain the operating procedures, establish local committees for staff selection and recruitment, etc. So safe rescue and rescuation training programs should have a written document that specializes and specifies trainees, target age range, current evidence and census. Would recommend that participants be of similar ages and that training not to be provided before the age of 10 years. The trainee to instructor ratio should also be explicitly stated and not exceed 10 participants per instructor or 5 participants per instructor when training takes place in water. Training adults and children separately enables communication to be tailored to the target group and allows factors such as differences in age and weight, which impacts trainees' proficiency in basic rescue and ability to achieve and maintain the recommended chest compression depth to be taken into account. So training adults, training children, and all safe rescue and rescuation training programs should use a structured curriculum based on relevant international guidance and focusing on drowning specific safe rescue, rescuation and referral to the nearest health facility as necessary. So teach school age children basic swimming and water safety skills, and the safe rescue element of a curriculum should take account of the level of swimming skills that children have and cover the following areas: recognizing an emergency, quickly determining that person is drowning, determining the safest rescue options available, calling for help from others including local emergency services, looking for a rescue aid and understanding what may be used as a rescue aid, safe rescue techniques, keeping sight of the casualty, attempting verbal communication with the drowning person, provide a flotation device, example a life ring or a 2-liter plastic drink bottle or a football, something related to that. And drowning specific rescuation, ventilation, rate, duration, volume and chest compression rate, depth, hands off time. At the time of writing, guidelines developed by the European Rescuation Council (ERC) are the most extensive and detailed and offer the best basis upon which to create locally adapted rescuation content. And checking for the dangers and taking appropriate action, assessing the level of consciousness, clearing and opening the airway, checking the pressure or presence or absence of breathing, positioning of the casualty for rescue breathing, performing simulated aid rescue breathing on a rescuation mannequin, locating the compression point for the chest compression and demonstrating effective CPR on a mannequin placed on the floor, demonstrating the appropriate action for a casualty who vomits or regurgitates, placing the casualty in the recovery position and frequently re-evaluating the situation. How to contact emergency services and the importance of early defibrillation, and gender and socio-economic status. Men are not always allowed to touch women, and certain social or ethnic groups avoid contact. Incorrect rescuation techniques and unfounded fears of acquiring HIV or TB during mouth-to-mouth ventilation all should be considered. And trainers should have age-appropriate education and should have successfully completed a train the trainer course that certifies them to become a trainer for the safe rescue and rescuation curriculum being taught. In the safe rescue and rescuation curriculum, you should stipulate that refresher training for rescuation aspects of the training takes place at least every 12 months. All safe rescue and rescuation programs should establish a monitoring system that allows for the program evaluation. And safe rescue and rescuation program staff should build long-term relationships with the local authorities and stakeholders to obtain support and assistance in facilitating training and to ensure that training is sustainable in the long run. So these are the practical guidelines for various prevention, provision of daycare, basic swimming and water safety skills, and safe rescue and resuscitation training. This can be found in detail in the prevention of drowning report and guidelines book. Apart from that, what are the, let's look into the various interventions to prevent drowning. First is to provide safe places away from water for preschool children, installing barriers, controlling access to water, teach school-age children aged over 6 years swimming and water safety skills, and train bystanders in safe rescue and rescutation, build resilience and manage flood risks and other hazards, and set and enforce safe boating, shipping, and ferry regulations, as we already discussed. And what are different strategies to support drowning prevention interventions? Promote multi-sectorial collaboration and strengthen public awareness of drowning through strategic communication, establishing a national water safety drowning prevention plan, research advanced drowning prevention through data collection and well-designed studies. So with this, we shall conclude. And if participants have any queries, you can feel free to share in chat box, or you can raise your hand. So if there are no queries, then we shall conclude for the day. Feedback form is being shared in chat box. Quickly fill up the feedback form. Thank you everyone once again for joining us. There is one query. Jaivir Singh, okay, sir had gone to Lonavala this month to celebrate birthday of a 2-year-old child. The child drowned into a swimming pool. The owner of the swimming pool also got a police case. According to your survey, who is responsible, sir, for such incidents? Definitely, the owner of the swimming pool is responsible in the very first place, because he is in charge for that entire facility, and he is accountable and responsible for the safety guidelines and measures. And so the primary responsibility lies with the owner, and the secondary responsibility with the, there should be some trained professionals at the, or trainers who are looking out, watching out, and we need to find out how that casualty has missed the eyes of the trainer or rescuer who is on duty. Apart from that, any other people around, I mean, we need to really look into the situation. But in general, the owner of the facility and the immediate trainer or rescuer on duty has an important role, and they are very much accountable for such things. Safety is to be utmost important there, and we need to look into the other details also. So, yeah. And, thank you everyone for joining us today for this wonderful commemoration of World Drowning Prevention Day. Feedback link has been shared in the chat box. Kindly fill up the feedback form before you leave this webinar. So see you all tomorrow at the same time with a different topic, and take care. Good night. We'll be there for a couple of minutes so that you can fill the feedback form. And let me quickly demonstrate also how to download your certificates, because we are daily showing, and not daily, whenever there is a request we are showing. And we are also explaining that the minimum eligibility criteria is, first you need to register for any event, and you need to participate in the event completely for all the sessions, and then you need to fill the feedback. Wherever there is individual feedback forms for each session, you have to fill up. Otherwise, if there is only one feedback form, you have to fill up the overall feedback form or the feedback form for this event. And after 15 working days, you can visit the website and you can download your certificates. And as already shown and also explained, let me practically also show you quickly so that any new members can also just follow it. It's very easy to understand, but still let me quickly show you. So this is the website. The one thing I request everyone, whoever is joining our series of webinars or conferences, remember this website and the date which you are attending the conference. These both are important. And this once you, and this website address is available in the registration message which you are receiving in the groups, Telegram channels, Facebook, everywhere. So it is there everywhere, even on the flyer also. It's very easy. You just need to visit this website. Okay. And here there is, and you should also know what the name of the event you have attended and date. Date is enough because all events are unique. But this series happens with the same name, right, every day, but with a different topic. So every day we have different topics. So here you can see International Webinar Series on Holistic Health and Well-being and Sustainable Development. The first in the introduction, I always take up this name, so that gives here. And there is also mentioned here, you can see the starting date. This series was started and daily. So that gives you a hint that you can look over here. Okay. Otherwise also for Sunday conference, because the length will be more if you put all here only. And there are other sections also. See, for Sunday Webinar, Sunday conferences, the links are direct links are available. Even if in case they are not accessible, you can use this. All are as part of this conferences, webinars are all part of this. When you click on this, you will be taken to the dedicated website. Here, you can see. And one more important instruction. See, we are making so much efforts, putting so much efforts to make these things simple. Kindly follow the instruction that will help to save our time as well as your time, money and resources. See here you can see an option calendar right here. You can just click on this calendar. It will be automatically added. We have this international webinar series, this timing, link, all this text will be available in your calendar. You can just add to your Google Calendar, Yahoo Calendar or iOS, Android Calendar, whatever calendar you are using. You can just click this and it will ask you if you are not yet signed into your Google account. It will ask you to sign in with your own credentials, and after you log in, it will ask you to whether you want to add this calendar to you. Just click on that and you can see this calendar added to your calendar so that you can receive reminders. See here, automatically you can see international webinar series on holistic and international webinar series on holistic health, well-being and sustainable development calendar. Like you can see, this is just day only. You can, once it is added now, it's very easy for you. It will send you, you can see already every day, you can see. Even for 1 month also you can see. It will show you daily at what time it is there. Even in Sundays you can see Sunday time also is a different time, but it will remind you 1 day before, half an hour before. So this will help you to keep track. And also you will find the website also here. All the details are there. So you can find the website link also, joining link also. And Facebook group also is there, website address is there, even this calendar is also included. We are making a lot of efforts for making things simple. And we have also for speakers also, we are mentioning not only just registering for the speaker, but also you need to share the details. This is also available in the registration form. No, you have to share. It is also mentioned, share details. It will help us because many people just for the sake of filling, they are selecting as they want to present, but they are, when we contact them, they are not sometimes, the response is not that good. But who are really interested, they can always, that saves our time and efforts also. Because we are also working with a limited capacity. So try to understand everyone. Let's cooperate and have a very good sessions. So the reminders you can see 30 minutes before it will remind you, and 1 hour before as an email. You will get an email, and 1 hour, 1 day before also you will get an email to your email address in which you have added this calendar. And 1 day before also you will get a reminder if you are using in system or mobile. If calendar notifications are enabled, you will get automatic notification. It will remind you of the sessions. So every day it will remind you, every week it will remind you. So this is very easy way to keep track, and at any time if you want to visit website or if you want to have a joining link, it's readily available here. You don't need to search anywhere. So this is one of the simplest form available. Otherwise, as shown here, this is one of the best form. I request everyone to immediately add this calendar to your calendar, Yahoo, Google, or whatever you are using. And coming to these certificates, you can see weekday schedule, Sundays, special days. And even if you come to here, e-certificate section also, it is mentioned. See, what is the eligibility? It is clearly mentioned. And also how to when to download. See, the very next day, it is mentioned here clearly, 15 working days after webinar or conference on respective webinar site and page. See, this is direct site, right? You can always, there are only 5 links here. Even if you select all links also, you can see this. This is e-certificate section, you can read this. So no need of again daily texting me. You can understand by here it is 15 working days. After 15 working days, you just visit. If it is weekday, you can visit weekday. If it is Sunday, you have attended, select on Sunday, and you just go to that date. As you remember that date, see if it is last Sundays, or say suppose it was just yesterday, so there is no scope that certificates will be updated. So let's go to last but one Sunday. I mean, still not yet 15 days has passed. Let's see if certificates are updated. Not yet, because as we have mentioned, 15 working days. Okay, let's go to one Sunday ahead, 10th July. Okay, here you can find the link. So 15 days is the maximum time, but sometimes we early, because whenever we find time, we generate, because a lot of things need to be verified. The registration and feedback form and the Zoom attendance. No, we get lot of registration. Every event has almost 200 plus registration. But you know how many people are attending, and they don't, even many attend actually, but they keep on joining and leaving. So they don't attend fully. Very few attend fully, because you also seen a number of participants. So these are the issues. So we need to verify and see that no one is left out. Again, manually, these all will take lot of time for us. So if you just register, attend, and fill the feedback form, and you visit after 15 days website and download, it's very easy for us. Otherwise, for everyone asking and getting, it will be very complicated and things will get delayed. Only thing what will happen is we have to cross check, and it will take some more time and it will get delayed. That is why certificates are being delayed. Otherwise, if the process everyone is following the instructions, it is very easy, and we are able to provide even in one day also. But what happens, we are noticing that participants who are not attending also filling the feedback form. So these things are making complex, and we need to check once or twice. And sometimes it happens that speakers recommend a few and they only attend that session and they leave off. So there are some considerations where power has gone or some medical emergency, like some special cases also do come. So all these are creating, taking up more time for verification, because this is automatic and certificates are generated at once. We cannot generate single certificate again and again. And if someone misses out, and again, it's a painful task for us. So all this will take, so we all can collaborate and cooperate with each other and help each other to successfully conduct, so that we can conduct more programs and be very friendly, respecting each other. And we have also provided, see, so you can download this Sunday certificates here, conferences, and weekdays you can visit here. This is Sunday, weekdays here. You can see July, you select July, and today's date is 25th. You can select here 25th. You can see the flyer, and just below here also we have mentioned clearly, shall be shared within 15 working days. So you can just visit after 15 working days. No need to contact me. I will not be in a position to reply every message. I daily get thousands of messages, and I can't sit whole day replying to everyone, whoever is messaging. It's very really painful, and I even don't have that much time. I have to earn my bread and butter also, like you all, right? So don't text me for certificates. You can always visit the website. If you have anything, any clarification, any information required, you can always join daily webinar. I will spend some time with you. If you need any specific date also, I will show you, no problem. I am always there to help you, but just mind the time. In WhatsApp, unless you are very clever to understand messages, you don't message me, because simple instructions also many people are not able to understand. That will consume both of us time. It will waste both of our resources. If you want always any clarification, you always join the webinar, whether on daily or Sunday, and you text me in the message so that I will show you. We are always there to help you. So here, as you know, or you can just visit any date, whichever you are attending, you can select. Take it July. Recently till Sunday, all are updated. So let's look 22nd July, whether they are available. No. Okay. What date they are available? 20 July, let's check. 20 July it is there. So see, it's not even 15 working days. Sometimes it will take time, sometimes. See other date. 21st July also. See, 21st July also got updated. Today is 25th July, not even 4-5 days. So it all depends on how collaboratively we work each other with each other. If everything is clear, then it will take less time. If there are more complexities, then it will take more time, as simple as that. So do keep attending, sharing, and do not keep disturbing us in working hours. Especially don't text us in working hours. We will not be able to reply, and I get thousands of messages for registrations, for other things, for students, from research scholars, from other. So I will not be able to reply. Even if I reply also, I will reply in short, and don't chat with me day long. You try to understand. If you are unable to understand, just join this. Daily we are meeting now. You can always join and ask, leave a message in chat. I will show you. Don't worry. Everything is there on the website. I am also available to you daily. Don't disturb me in other time. Okay, this time is dedicated. Every day we are meeting. You can ask me. So thank you. And hope all the instructions are clear. If any doubts are there, please ask me now only. Don't text me or don't call me in working hours. Except for presentations or collaborations. For especially certificates, please don't message me or call me. All are available on website. If you still have any queries, you are welcome. You can always ask in the webinar after sessions. Don't disturb at the time of sessions. You just put a message reminder so that I can see it. And after session also, once again, you just remind me and we will take it up. I will show you also if you need any specific day link also, I will show you. But in WhatsApp and all, even if I send you, you are not able to understand, that will create a lot of issues. So hope everyone understand it and everyone is able to download their certificates, and hope everyone has filled the feedback form for today. Do not share this feedback link. You are sparing your time and just simply sharing with someone else will not, I mean, our efforts are not valued by ourselves then it is. So let's all be honest and keep attending, sharing. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.